me the authority to talk on this, right? Who am I? Well, I can say I'm a recovered, stressful person when it comes to this topic. So this was the unanswered question that would plague me in my life, just run on repeat in my head for years. And I'm telling you, my whole life really was an issue until probably just a few years ago. And it was, yeah, just causing me stress and putting so much pressure on my life and my decisions, even to the point where it was that thing just that I would think about on the way to the grocery store, or while I was trying to have fun and enjoy myself. It was, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, what is my career path? Yada, yada, yada. So what I can report now is that I'm just incredibly happy in my life. I'm very content with where I am in terms of work, and I have had very much an inner transformation around this. So in this video, I want to provide you with those same tools and exercises that really helped me find relief. And I do want to say from my own experience and also from surveying others that I don't really think this "what am I going to do with my life" question ever gets entirely figured out, just because of the nature of ourselves and our lives, ever changing and always evolving. But if you want some insight on yourself and help with which direction to choose, then I have 10 tips to share with you today. So let's get started. Get lost in a bookstore. This is a really fun and accessible way to discover yourself. Get yourself alone in a bookstore and just see where you end up. Which aisle pulls you in? Which book calls to you? This exercise can be really helpful in revealing our deep passions, our hidden curiosities, or simply affirm our known likes. I used to do this from time to time when I was feeling lost, and I would be consistently drawn to the same book types: travel, design, art, fashion, physical health, self-help. And what I can tell you is that these are all major themes now in my life and my work. So try it out, see where you end up, and ask, what might this say about me and where I want to go? Space. We unknowingly get so caught in our routine and our fixed perspective. We too get caught in our distractions, and so I cannot emphasize enough how important taking space is. If you have this unanswered question of what should I do with my life, I strongly encourage you to fast. And yes, that could mean as far as a juice cleanse or some other kind of nutritional detox, but it can also mean fasting from other things like technology. Take a break from social media, or just leave your phone at home and take some time in nature. Fast from your current work or school life by taking a vacation or a staycation. Take space from your friend group and make deliberate time to be alone. You may even want to go on a retreat, or just spend time at home journaling, or you may feel inspired at this time to make a mood board or to speak your prayers, or expose yourself to new perspectives by traveling. You'll surely meet loads of new people and lots of new mindsets. Take space from your home by doing an exchange abroad. I've done all of these, and each one has been instrumental in my self-discovery and therefore my path illumination. The thing is, when we fast, it's like everything falls away and we have to look at what's left. Away from distraction, what drives you? What are you drawn to? Especially in this day and age where it's like input, input, input. It's consumption overload, and we don't allow ourselves the rest to process it all, to integrate it, and then to check back in with ourselves. So take your space and see what you find. Jealousy. We often think about this as being an ugly emotion, but I think in the right lighting, it can be quite beautiful. These questions like, what do I want? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What do I want to have? Right? These are the unanswered questions that plague us, that stress us out. And so what if we could get a peek at what the answers might be? This is where jealousy comes in. Pay attention if you ever sense that ting. Observe it, feel it, and thank it. Unpack your jealousy response and give an ear to your inner dialogue. You ever see someone doing something and it's like, he's writing a book? Oh, but I could do that. I'm just not doing it. Wow, she's an entrepreneur. I wish I could do that. Where they live is so cool. What? She's making jewelry? But that's my thing. Ugh, I so yearn for that kind of financial freedom. Ugh, he has such a stupidly fit body. I'm so jealous. I can't believe she has such a happy family like that. They look perfect. What? They get to do that for work? Pay attention to any emergence of envy and use it for your betterment. Silently thank this person for showing you what's possible. Free time. Observe yourself. What do you do when time is left to you? You get off work or school, you look forward to going home, and then what? So this doesn't have to be a direct translation, right? Well, Kat, I like to watch TV, so should I just like watch TV for a living? I mean, maybe, if that's possible, but let's dive a little deeper. What kind of shows do you like, and what does that say about you? I like to watch video games. We can ask, what kind are they? Are they strategy, design, problem solving, action? I like to Instagram. What kind of accounts do you follow? I like to play ball. Again, this doesn't have to be a direct translation. Maybe it doesn't mean that you grew up to be an NBA player, but maybe it tells us that you're really suited for a teamwork environment. Also note this, because whatever you're doing with your time off consistently is building your skills in this department, whether you like it or not. Reflect back. What was your answer as a kid? When you were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you say? It may not be 100% relevant today, but there may be seeds of something. When we're children, we're not thinking about income and hopefully not yet feeling the pressure of parents and society. There's a purity there that we lose as teens and adults. Even if your answer was, I want to be a ballerina, and you're not currently into that, you can still tell us that you're creative, you enjoy being in your body, you're comfortable in front of an audience, and maybe you say, no, Kat, none of that is true. And so we can continue investigating. What exactly do you remember liking about ballerina when you were little? It was the costumes. Perhaps fashion is more your alley then. Maybe your answer was so fantastical that it seems impossible. I have a friend who used to say, I want to be a superhero. For some people, this may mean being an EMS agent and saving lives, or maybe it was the story of the character that they really loved, and so now they want to be a comic book artist or a movie director. For this individual, my friend, he turned out to actually have a pretty common job, but I can tell you that he focuses 100% of his free time around things that admittedly make him feel like a superhero, things like surfing and skimboarding and skateboarding. So even if it turns out to be a hobby for you, tuning back into the history of this desire can really affirm the importance of it in your life. This bleeds into the next point, which is consider that what you do for work maybe doesn't have to be your everything. I would time and time again hear that advice. Find a way of doing what you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. This is a really lovely idea to aspire to, but for me, it was just creating too much pressure to find that perfect thing. And for myself, I'm someone who just likes so many different things. What released the pressure and brought me a lot of peace was realizing that what I love doing doesn't have to be what generates my income. I can still seek out a paying job that I really like and then do what I love or what fulfills me in another way in my spare time. For some people, they find that 100% alignment with work and passion, and that's great. And for others, I think if you're forcing it, try adopting a new mindset and taking the pressure off. It can also happen that with time, you become more passionate about your job. And that's because you get to know your coworkers better, you build your own confidence, you get to explore more inlets of your work than were even visible at the beginning. And remember, it's okay if your job is there to fulfill certain needs, financial, creative, social, etc. It's okay to also have more than one job to fulfill these needs. And it's okay to have passions that don't bring you a penny, but they bring you the wealth of joy. Another way to take the pressure off is to consider that your job may not even be invented yet. I mean, this world is changing at such a rapid pace that the abilities and the needs of one generation may be unrecognizable to the next. It's hard to really wrap our mind around this notion looking forward, but let's look back. For example, there was a time only 10 years ago, before smartphones and before social media, if someone were to tell you at that time, in the future, you're gonna be what we call an influencer. You're gonna write blog posts and post your personal photos and video your thoughts in your bedroom, and companies are going to send you products and pay you, and that's gonna be how you make a living. That would have been such a hard concept to fathom. To continue in the tech field, for example, there may be jobs out there currently that you don't even know about. Data scientist, business intelligence analyst, coder, I don't even know what those people do. But the world becomes a lot more nuanced than the doctor, lawyer, baker that we're exposed to as children. Outside voice. We often hear about listening to your inner voice, and that is so important. That's what I hope number 2 helps you to do. And for a moment, I also want to give attention to the outside voice. Of course, I am not encouraging you to listen to every outside voice. We all know that there are narrow-minded parents, and there are friends with questionable intentions like sabotage, and there are teachers who just want to live vicariously through you. So be discerning, but understand the value of a different perspective. We all have the limitation of being in our own head and in our own body that we often can't clearly see some of our privileges, the model face we have, the connections that our family has, the foundation of our education, the location of our residence, our natural talents. You can really sing, you know that? I see how passionate you are about cooking, and you do have a gift for making every dish taste good. You seem to have a really instinctive way of caring for children, or the progress of our skills. You've really come a long way in that. I think your art is ready to sell. You're on the right path. I think you just need to keep practicing. This helped me in my life to kind of give me that final push. I had certain interests, but was just sitting on them. So it wasn't until the encouragement of really trustworthy individuals that I sought to pursue them more seriously. Outside voices are never meant to be sole guides, but they can really help reveal to us where our advantages may lie. Talk to successful adults. Pretty much everyone I've talked to who I've seen as being happy in their lives with some combination of work success, financial stability, and contentment in their jobs, they've all said it's not a straight line. The path is not direct, and you often can't see that far ahead of you. It's kind of like following breadcrumbs. I went to school to be this, but never did. Then I was in this job, then that. Trying to budget for XYZ, started a family, made some investments, then moved over there. Happened to meet so-and-so. And then I realized I liked that field, focused hard, and then I got promoted, and now I ended up here. Specific people know from right out the womb, I want to be a marine biologist. But from my surveying, it seems that most are just making it up as they go along. I found reports like this tremendously reassuring, because before then I thought there was something out there that I was supposed to know that I didn't. But it turns out that you don't have to have a 100% clear plan to be happy and successful. Reflect on what success means to you. Success is a subject in and of itself that I want to talk about. And I want to encourage you to think about, how do you define success? Culturally, it seems that we define it as a big house or a first place trophy, a full bank account, fame. Nothing wrong with aspiring to acquire any of these, of course, but I think we can all agree that to fixate on them is to grow imbalanced. For me, what also helped relieve the pressure of figuring out exactly what my career/life plan should look like was shifting my attention, asking myself, who do I want to be rather than what do I want to do? Remembering that in so many ways, your being is your contribution. And from really being your authentic self, your present self, your most evolved self, you'll come to find your do more naturally. What I'm saying is focus on being a good person, growing your heart, your mind, and feeding your soul. Thank you for spending this time with me. If it was helpful for you, you can let me know by hitting the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. My best to you on your journey, and my love your way.